Agricola and the Conquest of Britain. Hi, my name is Gnaeus Julius Agricola. I am Governor of Britain. The Emperor Vespasian gave me the job in AD 77. This is actually my third tour of duty here. My first time was as tribune with the army. Governor Paulinus had treated the Iceni tribe too harshly, and I had to help put down the uprising, led by their queen Boudica. That was back in AD 60. Or was it 61? The second time I was here was as governor. Vespasian sent me to sort the mess out made by Governor Paulinus. He had been too lazy and soft. There had even been an uprising among our own troops. I had to put that down and restore discipline. Then I led the troops as commander to conquer the Briganti tribe in the north of England. When I got back here for my third tour of duty as governor in the summer of 77, a troop of our cavalry had been surrounded and attacked in North Wales. The rest of our soldiers were scattered all over the country and telling themselves that the campaigning season was over for the year. They were talking of sitting things out until next year. Useless! I ordered my soldiers to mobilise at once and march on Wales to attack. It was time to conquer those Welsh tribes once and for all. I led the attack in person so as to put heart into our men. We fell upon the enemy and slaughtered them. Victory! What was left of them retreated to the island of Anglesey. And so I found myself on the shores of the island of Anglesey, and this was my second time of fighting there. I can well remember the first time. On the shore there stood the opposing army with its dense array of armed warriors, while between the ranks dashed women in black attire like the Furies, with hair dishevelled, waving fiery brands. All around, the Druids were lifting up their hands to heaven and pouring forth dreadful imprecations, and scared our soldiers by the unfamiliar sight. Our commander then built flat-bottomed vessels to cope with the shallows and the uncertain depths of the sea. The infantry crossed in these, while the cavalry followed by fording, or, where the water was deep, swam by the side of their horses. Well, that was how we defeated them first time around. The trouble was, this time, we had come in such a hurry, we had no boats. However, among my soldiers we had some good auxiliary troops who were locals and knew the area well. Upon the order, they and their horses swam across and fell upon the enemy and took them by surprise. The enemy surrendered and sued for peace. Listen. Do you know why our soldiers were always victorious? It's not about numbers. The enemy often outnumbered us. Look, here is a Roman soldier. He has a helmet, flexible body armour, leather and metal protection for his waist and legs, a big protective shield, sword and spear. Here is a Celtic warrior. He has good swords and spears and a big shield, but not much else. Some will have helmets and even chain mail, which they're very clever at making, but these things are only for the rich and the important warriors among them. The Celts are also very skillful in their use of chariots. Julius Caesar learned this to his cost when he first invaded Britain. This is what he said. In chariot fighting, the Britons begin by driving all over the field, hurling javelins, and generally the terror inspired by the horses and noise of the wheels are sufficient to throw their opponents' ranks into disorder. Then, after making their way between the squadrons of their own cavalry, they jump down from the chariot and engage on foot. In the meantime, their charioteers retire a short distance from the battle and place the chariots in such a position that their masters, if hard-pressed by numbers, have an easy means of retreat to their own lines. Thus, they combine the mobility of cavalry with the staying power of infantry. And, by daily training and practice, they attain such proficiency that even on a steep incline they're able to control the horses at full gallop, and to check them and turn them in a moment. They can run along the chariot pole, stand upon the yoke, and get back into the chariot as quick as lightning. The British Celts were brave and skillful warriors, so how were we Romans able to defeat them? The answer is training and discipline. Imagine you are a coach for a football team. They're all good players, but they never show up for practice, only for the match itself. Imagine too that every player wants to be a centre forward. No one wants to play in defence or goal. You'll see some dazzling individual performances, but they don't play together as a team. That is the difference between the Roman army and the British Celts. The other thing that gives us an edge is our smooth, straight Roman roads. When there is trouble anywhere in the Roman Empire, we can quickly rush our soldiers to the spot to deal with it. That is why our soldiers are also skillful road builders. Wherever we conquer, we build roads. Our soldiers also build forts to give a comfortable base for them to live. This is our fort at Porchester. If you ignore the Norman castle and the church in the corners, you can see exactly how it looked. Roman forts were often built in a square shape like this, and they were protected by strong walls, towers and ditches. Each side also had a fortified gateway.